class. Today we're going to talk about Plan B. Plan B is designed for students going into or transferring into the California State University system. So we're talking about Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach, Cal Poly Pomona, Dominguez Hills, San Diego State. There's a lot more Cal State, but those are the ones that are a lot of our students transfer to. This is the general education pattern, okay, of requirements for Plan B. So if you want to transfer to the Cal State system, it is important that you complete the Plan B requirements. So let's get going. Let's dive into that. Basically, what we want to do is have you take Area A, a class in Area A, English Language Communication and Critical Thinking. You need to complete one course from Area A1, A2, A3 with a C- or better. So that means that if you take a class in A1, Oral Communication, you get to pick from Communication 100, 101, 110, 111, and you've got a D or an F, you have to repeat the class, okay? So same with Area A2, Written Communication, English 100 or 101, and with A3, Critical Thinking. As I am moving along this Plan B, just keep a mental note of, have you taken an oral communication class or an English class or a critical thinking class? And if you are, you can just maybe download this form. And similarly to Plan A, there are 3 columns: the completed column, in progress, and need. And if you know the unit amount, you can then put if you completed the course, completed communication courses, or if it's in progress or a need. Okay, you can follow along and just take a mental note of that. And so we move on to Area B, okay. We can see that this is Area B here, and it's the physical universe and its life form. You have to do one class in Area B1, which is the physical science, one class in life science, one class the lab, and then one class with the mathematics, okay? So we're going to go back and talk about the lab activity requirements real quick. This B3 has to match with either the physical science or a life science, meaning if you choose Bio 109, you then have to do Bio 109 lab, okay? So, if you choose Earth Science 100, then you would have to do Earth Science 100 lab. It just depends on which lab you want to do. You only have to do one lab. And then also, if you look at Area B, some of the courses are underlined, like this Chemistry 100, or this Earth Science 111, or this Bio 239 course. It's underlined, which means that there's a lab already connected to the course. That's what the underlined courses means in Area B1 and B2. Okay, so moving on to Area C. This is Area C, Arts, Literature, Philosophy, and Foreign Language. You need a total of 3 courses for 9 units total, and the units are coming from C1 Arts, one class you need to pick, and then another class in Area C2, Humanities, and the third class you can choose from Area C1 or C2. So potentially you could do 2 classes in C1 or 2 classes in C2, and 1 class in C1, and so on. So as long as you do 3 classes, 1 in C1, 1 in C2, and then a third course from C1 or C2, you'll be good to go for that particular area. Moving on to Area D. Area D is Social, Political, and Economic Institution. This one is a little tricky because depending on when you started SEC, there's different requirements. So just make sure that if you had started, I want to underline this, if you had started the beginning of fall 2021 or later, you must take 6 semester units from any discipline, which means that 6 units is 2 classes from this area only. Because in fall 2021, the Cal State system created a brand new requirements. They included the requirements for Area F, Ethnic Studies. Okay, so this Area F, Ethnic Studies, again, it matches. It says beginning fall of 2021 or later. Students who come in during that time must complete Area F. And you need to pick one class from Area F, and that's Ethnic Studies 101, 110, 120, 130, and 140. Okay, so if you remember this, Ethnic Studies 101, 110, 120, 130, 140, that particular class matches the classes for Area D under Ethnic Studies 101, 110, 120, 130, 140. So that is your third course. Okay, so you need to pick 2 classes plus the Ethnic Studies requirements for a total of 3 classes. However, I'm going to underline this as well. Students who started SCC before fall of 2021 and have maintained continuous enrollment, you must take 9 semester units from at least 2 different disciplines. So then you are not required to do Area F if you started before fall of 2021. It means that you can just pick 2 classes from this area, 3 classes from this area, but it must be at least 2 different disciplines. So for example, you can't take all 3 classes under the psychology discipline. You have to do, 2 from psychology and 1 from anthropology, and so on. So that's basically what that means. If you have questions about this area, let me know, because it really depends on when you started school. But we're kind of a couple years from fall 2021 already. So students have met with counselors and understand their requirements moving forward for this particular Area D. But I just wanted to point that out because that's something that's a little bit newer requirements. And then we are moving to Area E. Area E is lifelong understanding and self-development. You just need 1 class, 3 semester units from this area. Area E1. Self-development courses, and many of you are either doing the Counseling 101, 113, or 116. So that should be 3 units, and that is in progress for right now. And this is Area E2, self-development, which is kinesiology activity courses. So you don't have to take E2, but definitely I recommend it just because, exercise is always great. And there's plenty of studies out there that says exercise is great for your brain activity, helps you stay more alert and focus. So if you happen to have some free time, take our yoga class, take our exercise science classes. We have kickboxing, swimming, and so on, weight training. And I think that's a great way to release stress too, if you're interested in doing that. Next, we have our ethnic study requirement, and I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to talk about it again so that there's no confusion. Only students who started SCC fall of 2021 or later must complete Area F. So if this is you, then you must do Area F. You must pick 1 class from here, okay? And then the Cal State system has a U.S. History, Constitution, and American Ideals requirement. This is their CSU graduation requirement. So if you take the U.S. History or Ethnic Studies requirement at SCC, then you're not bound to that requirement when you transfer to the Cal State system. And you have to do political science as well. So you don't have to do the U.S. History requirement at SCC. However, if you don't, then you're going to have to do those requirements at the Cal State system, and it just costs more if you do that at the Cal State system. So it's up to you. A lot of my students decide to take it at SCC just because we have smaller class sizes. It's convenient and definitely costs a lot less than if you were to do it at the Cal State system. So this is Plan B. I highly encourage you to go over it if you are going to transfer to the Cal State system. And again, if you have any questions about Plan B at all, I am here to support you and to answer any questions that you have regarding Plan B.